Wow, she's gone. Who could have seen this coming? Now, was she fired or is this a prank from the Lucasfilm? Most people are asking themselves that question when they saw the announcement of the disgraced president, Kathleen Kennedy. I am going to go off, so bear with me. I do this with all the love I have for the brand. Moving along, the bombshell report was that she has decided to retire. The job is finished. What she has accomplished is something that experts will research for a very long time. Anyone in the entire world, even a child, will have at least done a decent job.
Write that down.
She will always be responsible for the downfall of Lucasfilm. The kind of things she greenlit should have never happened in the first place. Resurrecting already established characters just to destroy them. Creating horrible villains, heroes, themes, stories. She turned Star Wars from one of the biggest money printing machines into just another streaming service show.
You have failed and you will pay.
There will be articles from the media about how she was amazing, talented, gifted, one of the best things that have ever happened to Star Wars. I believe she'll be given a Medal of Honor by Disney. The studio will miss her a lot. It will always be a question as to why she was never fired after the first, second, 10th, 20th flop, even when fans were boycotting, shouting, screaming about the horrible state of Star Wars. She always managed to move on unscathed. Never blamed for the horrible receptions, never blamed for the horrible choices. If it had been someone else, they would have been fired a long time ago.
You're fired.
Lucasfilm, the once beloved IP in Hollywood, became like Zack Snyder's China in DC, filled with poor management, constant fighting, promising so many projects that will never see the light of the day, blaming toxic fans for their poor writing, hiring left-wing activists to make movies or shows. They did a lot of things to alienate most of its fans. These actions were intentional. That is what they wanted. The Disney CEO Bob Iger did not help either. Every year since 2022, he enabled this behavior through his actions. He allowed movies to flop. He promoted activism in all the Lucasfilm projects. For those who do not know, Kathleen Kennedy joined Lucasfilm in 2012 as co-chair alongside George Lucas. He mentored her during the peak years of the company. She learns the different ways of creating relatable characters, villains, basically the magic of Star Wars from the founder himself. Kathleen explained in an article how much George fought and supported her. George saw Kathleen as one that could take Star Wars into great heights, in the process bringing young women from across the world into the franchise. That is why most fans supported her when she became the president of Lucasfilm. This will make her the first female president of a major studio. Something that had never happened in the entirety of Hollywood. If she would have excelled, then a lot of women will have been given opportunities in leadership positions. A lot was riding for her tenure to be a success. The media loved her. Most fans wanted more Star Wars content. That will prove to be a big mistake in hindsight. Disney gave her full creative control over the franchise to do whatever George Lucas would have done. Disney acquired all the rights of Indiana Jones, Star Wars, Willow, a variety of already established IP, and placed it in her hands. That was the beginning of the end. She released the first feature-length film, Star Wars The Force Awakens. It grossed massively in the box office. That was the introduction of the Merosu trope that would be used in virtually all the projects. The character Rey Skywalker will go down as one of the worst characters ever created. The problem was that she was perfect, no flaws whatsoever. She excelled in everything: engineering, fighting, being the greatest Jedi alive with no training. No one could match her strength, brilliance, coupled with the most horrible villains. That is why the casual viewer started checking out after every installment. The movies will break already established rules in every entry. The writers did not care at all. They wanted to tell their story, their character, based on their real-life events. Disney did not stop them like most studios would. They will soon release Solo, a Star Wars story that was the road that broke the camel's back. On a budget of $275, the movie managed to make $383 million at the box office. That was when Disney should have decided to press pause on making any more Star Wars content. Most casual or hardcore viewers wanted Lucasfilm to take a pause, go back to the drawing board, make some changes, listen to the paying customers' concerns, fire all the writers, including J.J. Abrams, get rid of Skywalker, or at least make her feel like a real life human being with flaws, weaknesses, struggles, something. Every time the paying customer will complain, the media will run playing defense. I understand some fans take it too far, but the studio knew that most audiences were not happy about their product. The problem is that they all know that the movies are bad. They know the viewers do not relate to Meresu characters. They know the villains are horrible. They know that the box office revenues have been diminishing at a faster pace. They knew that the direction of the franchise was not in the best interest of the long-term growth of the franchise. They knew Kathleen Kennedy was a horrible pick as president of Lucasfilm. Instead of taking a break and coming back when they have a view on the direction of the franchise, Kathleen decided to take another approach that will prove to end the studio entirely. She created a lot of horrible Star Wars content shows which did not help the brand one bit. The first 2 seasons of Mandalorian is considered to be one of the best shows in Disney Plus, and it is considered by fans as the best one among all of them. The rest were horrible, unwatchable, uninspired, something that should have never seen the light of the day. Ahsoka, the Book of Boba Fett, The Acolyte, these stinkers will always be the worst content that has ever been released, that has even ever come out of Disney. The writers, producers were constantly getting changed each project. Inexperienced writers who have never read the books were given all the power to make the movies. Leslie Headland confessed during the press of The Acolyte that she had never read the books. She claimed she was never interested in Star Wars. She was surprised about the Star Wars job offer. That was something that should have disqualified her from getting the job in the first place. There are a lot of talented Star Wars writers in Hollywood, but will never get a chance. All the while, there have been a couple of inexperienced, lucky writers who couldn't give a crap about the franchise to save their lives, being given opportunities to make their deranged views on the world come true through Star Wars. Due to lack of creativity or reading the source material, a lot of writers have brought back beloved characters to provide that dopamine hit to the fans that decided to stick around. Sometimes the so-called writers will use AI to bring back beloved characters from the dead or de-age them, like what they did to Luke, Leia, and Anakin. That was so cruel, lazy, unforgivable. Other IPs took a hit during her tenure. Bringing back Harrison Ford back to Indiana Jones was badly done. He was too old. Watching the capable, strong Meresu laugh, joke, and carry him in his own movie was the reason why Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny flopped at the box office. The Willow series became so unpopular that it was removed on Disney Plus. I watched the first episode, realized life is too short to care about something that the writers themselves don't give a crap about. In short, Kathleen Kennedy failed a lot of people, including George Lucas, who put their hope in her. A lot of hardcore fans believed that she was the one to take the franchise to a whole other audience. She will not be missed by most of the Star Wars fan base. She will always be seen as the one that destroyed Star Wars. Indiana Jones, no matter how many celebrities speak well about her, no matter how many medals Disney is prepared to present, no matter how many times the media tries to defend her, she bears the lion's share of the destruction of Lucasfilm. She's to blame for everything. Acolyte is her fault, letting identity politics overshadow the story being told, hiring directors, producers, writers that haven't read any or many of the books associated with the franchise, or letting them write whatever crazy thing pops off their heads. She is to blame for the many Meresu characters that have appeared in many Disney Plus shows or movies. She is to blame for firing anyone with different political opinions, like Gina Carano. Every damn decision should be bared on her shoulders because she was the president. When things are good, she's given the credit. But when things are bad, most people want to give her a pass. She failed the fans, the franchise, the millions of actresses that would have been given the job if the movies were half as good. George Lucas, Harrison Ford, and herself. She will never be missed. The latest reports are that Dave Filoni will be Kathleen's replacement. George Lucas should have never sold the franchise to Disney. That was a very big miscalculation. All hope is not yet lost. The fans are still there. Most people fell in love with Star Wars the first time we were introduced to the Jedi, the Force, Master Yoda. The concepts are the reason most people fell in love with the brand. The stories, character arcs, the alien relatable characters, the humor, the world-ending villains, There are lots of memorable moments that are still relevant 10, 20 years after. If it's too hard for modern writers, the easiest fix is to copy the animations or the books. There's a lot of ways that Star Wars can come back from the grave. The problem is that Disney, Lucasfilm do not possess the will to change their views. They have been serving their customers. The production studio should realize that they work for the audience, not the other way around. There must be a lot of reforms, firings, hirings from all places for the revival of Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and Willow. If you like the video, subscribe, ring the notification to be notified when more videos come out.